In the market for premium dice and accessories? Look no further than metallicdicegames.com for all your gaming needs. Save 10% off your purchases by using the promo code RBP10 at checkout. Check out the fantastic selection of dice and accessories today and use the promo code RBP10 to save 10% off any purchase anytime. Happy gaming from the Rancor's Brothel. Enjoy the show.
Warning, this podcast contains mature content, including scenes or descriptions of graphic violence, sexuality, and psychological trauma. Listener discretion is advised.
The Rancor's Brothel presents Impossible Landscapes. A Delta Green campaign by Dennis Detweiler. Okay, so to put it into perspective, it's the Friday before Halloween. It's you, me, and a pretty excellent beer called Shadow Boxer from Indiana City Brewing, solid stout, and a big, thick, scary book by Dennis Detweiler called Impossible Landscapes. There is no Moleskin. There's no Lucas or Troy. It's just all Franky right now. Everything's coming up Franky.
Can we have Winston not be here either?
I mean, that's up to you, I suppose. I'm pretty sure you keep calling him.
I don't think Franky's actually had any contact with Winston, at least directly. He just kind of got told to show up at the Boxer Hotel, I think is where I met the gang originally. Right after Wesley's demise.
One of these days,
too many W's.
Yeah, no, one of these days I'd like to go back and look at what I told you, because holy shit, you took the Boxer Hotel thing and really ran with it in a direction I did not expect, but I sat back and let you do it because it was entertaining as hell. Your backstory came out of nowhere, but that's the fun thing about RPGs. So Denny's, just to recap, because it's obviously been quite a long time since we actually played that session. You came out of being on stage, consuming the Patsu. You folks talked a little bit about some files, discovered more about the King in Yellow and the Red Book and its involvement in Delta Green and how this thing goes deep into the past. You fell through a fake bed, I believe. Someone got a disturbing letter from Abby.
I think that was Lucas's character that fell to the bed. I think he was the one who decided to jump on it. Well, no, maybe it was me.
Somebody decided to jump on a bed. I seem to remember it being you. You did play a lot of Snake, I believe, on a cell phone as well.
Yeah, I did play a lot of Snake.
Tried to break a cell phone, was conversed about. You guys went to Denny's the next morning after leaving the house. And you all sort of stood up when the Denny's got real quiet. And you saw 4 mugshots on the TV about escaped inmates from the Dorchester house. What kind of bothered you at the time, and obviously we're returning to that time, is that you're pretty sure you're the 4th mugshot, but your face didn't look right. It was almost as if the picture was taken out of focus. Could have been anybody, really.
Right, but they were also mugshots, right? Like they were like mugshot style.
A little bit, yeah.
Like they weren't just like a picture someone took across the room of me, like when I wasn't.
Correct. Yes, it was not. It was almost a staged sort of.
Because if I remember right,
shot.
If I remember right, we don't remember taking pictures there.
No, not at all.
So that's
you don't
why
recall that picture.
Okay.
And in fact, make me an int by 5 roll.
Pass, exactly, 70.
You in that image, you sort of remember thinking back on it. This is a little bit of a flashback. You're flashbacking in your mind. Everybody was holding it's like the top of a wine bottle, maybe, or some other decorative bottle. It's like you're holding, it's almost as if maybe you're holding a bottle of champagne or something like that. Some sort of decorative glass, something or other. Something clearly, though, with a stopper in the top of it. In that photo, it's not fully in frame, so you can't see it, but, you know, Maybe one of the agents is holding a neck. The other one is kind of cradling it. Maybe it's smaller. Maybe it's bigger. But you, in addition to seeing your blurred face in a photo you don't remember taking, that may or may not be you, but you're pretty sure is you, you also appear to be holding a bottle.
Right, so are all these photos individual?
Yeah, they're like that classic thing on TV when they show the mugshots of like, I had a shooting on 24th and Denver Avenue or whatever, and then they show like the mugshots. It's like, clearly be on the lookout for these 4 patients, and you're like wearing the hospital gowns and your hair's all tousled and
so we're all separately holding something individually.
Correct.
Okay. And it doesn't look like the container the Patsu was in by any chance?
No. The Patsu is very much in sort of like a ball glass jar with a lid. These are a little more decorative, probably narrowed at the top. Maybe not all of them, but they're definitely not ball glass jars.
Okay, well, either way, it's nothing that Franky's going to think about too much at the moment. But
no, this is probably in a blind panic. It kind of bothers you as you're sprinting down the road. Your immediate reaction, both for narrative convenience for me, and also, due to your attendance, you went sprinting out the door of the Denny's. Why did Franky do that?
So we woke up in the morning and we were supposed to go get a car to go up to New York, correct?
Yes, you'd had a phone call with your brother.
I can't think of the name of that hotel. Trey, is it something with? No, that's the mall. Starts with a T, right?
Yes, the Trivalino Mall. Yes. Are you talking about going to the McAllister building?
Yeah. No, there was another hotel I thought that was in New York as well that there was supposed to be a lady a part of. I can't remember because it's been so long. I mean, the McAllister building was part of it.
Correct.
Of going to New York, but I thought there was another hotel because we looked it up.
The Hotel Broadalbin.
Yep, Broadalbin. That's
where Abby wants you to go.
Yes.
You don't know where it is.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist on Google.
Correct.
Well, on in-game Google.
Correct. Except for the part where it does exist in Google.
Yes.
And what's really interesting is that with the new Kickstarter from Delta Green, it's going to exist much more in Google. So we got to get this game wrapped up a little bit before you guys start figuring out a little more about Hotel Broadalbin than I intend.
So Franky's initial reaction was, I got to go get the car. I can't wait for these guys, because I'm going to, what's the word for it? A drop-off point or a dead zone or whatever you want to call it for mob-related stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean...
Going to a mutual location where there's supposed to be a car waiting for me that can get us to New York safely without having to worry about, false plates or, this or that. So his reaction once he's seen that is we're going to be wanted. So I got to get that car as quickly as possible. Hopefully bring it back for the guys to jump in. Who knows what they're going to do. But
okay.
That's his reaction. Got to get that car as quick as possible.
Bang.
Yes.
So you go out the front door. And you go sprinting down the sidewalk. I kind of described this to the guys later. I sort of envision this Denny's kind of in front of like a strip mall or in a, sort of a complex with a number of different businesses. So you guys actually parked I think you actually parked down the street. There's not a lot of parking here. And as I recall, I believe it was a Sunday morning, so I think that there were churchgoers and stuff, as I recall. I remember a lot of discussions about a church. So the car is not close, and kind of your instinctual reaction, you're actually running...
Well, that's not the car that I'm worried about.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. Kind of setting it in your mind, you're actually running in the opposite direction of that car. But, geographically speaking, you're probably also running in the direction of the car you want to go get.
Got it, okay.
Does that make sense?
That's
Alertness roll.
It's a fail.
Okay, so you go running down the road. As you're sprinting out of the Denny's and heading sort of, the road is running, what do I want to say, kind of perpendicular to the parking and stuff, so you're running at a right angle from the Denny's. You hit the sidewalk and you immediately take a left and begin running, right? You catch a glimpse out of the corner of your eye, out of your left eye, in the parking lot. This would probably be what you could best consider the parking lot of the Denny's, perhaps. But in the, quote, parking lot of the Denny's, you see a figure just sort of standing. It's a bit awkward because you know how you don't spend much time standing in a parking lot. You know what I mean? You get in, you get out, you move around. You're usually in motion. But this individual, it just appears to be standing and staring, and their face is green. They're at a bit of a distance to you, but you kind of catch that out of the corner of your eye.
Franky's going to keep running. He's in fight or flight mode, and
sure.
He's fleeing, so
it's very just because I've got Halloween on the brain. It's very Michael Myers-esque when she looks out the window and Mike Myers in Halloween is just standing there in the sheets awkwardly. It's kind of like that. You just feel these eyes on you, but you do feel these eyes on you everywhere. And as you begin running down the road, running down the sidewalk, you've not gotten that far, maybe a block at best, before you hear screams, you hear gunshots, and you hear sirens.
Gunshots coming from the direction that I was running from?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. What those guys do? They call the fire department again?
Although Barbas was a short order cook.
Yeah, although I guess none of our characters actually called the fire department, technically.
Correct.
But
so you begin sprinting. What's your reaction to all this?
Well, I probably can't go back to the Denny's now.
Not advised.
My goal was to pick up the car and meet them somewhere. Surely I exchanged numbers with one of them. I had to have, yeah.
We'll get there.
Make a luck roll or something for that.
Sure, you can make a luck roll.
Luck roll's just high or low, right?
Yeah, just 50-50.
I'm gonna say low. 29.
Okay. So you are still moving at a fast clip down the road.
Trying to, yeah.
Pulling out your phone, trying to fumble with it. Make me an athletics roll. I think that's in this game, right?
Yes.
Is it? No, it's not, is it?
Yeah, it's athletics.
Yeah, make me an athletics roll.
That is actually a crit fail, yeah, 88.
Yeah, unless you have a score of 88, that's a crit fail.
Yeah, no. I got a score of 53.
You're sort of in your phone and you don't notice it. And an 88, yeah, sure, this works out well for you. You don't notice it, but you're coming into a crosswalk and you've kind of got your phone out and you feel a whoosh and you actually hit the front bumper of a car that's coming through the intersection. You just narrowly miss getting fucking creamed by a car coming around the corner. But you strike it hard enough that you fall back. You may not lose your footing quite, but you get knocked akimbo onto the hood. Phone goes flying out of your hand. You kind of thump hard on the hood. You probably turn to yell in a very New York style way. And you realize that you're laying on the hood of a squad car.
Oh, jeez.
And the lights were actually on. The cop just narrowly missed running you the over. And you see him get out of the car.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't watching where I'm going as I'm looking for my phone.
And you see him. You can tell he's sort of got his hand back on his hip, and he's kind of coming out with one hand up, but he's definitely got one hand up, and the other hand is back and on his hip where his service pistol is.
Yeah, I'm apologizing to him as I'm looking for my phone, like just getting off the hood. I'm not really like walking around. I'm just kind of like looking for it. Like
as you're looking for him, you hear him say, "Hey, I want to talk to you for a second."
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm still trying to avoid eye contact as best I can.
Okay. Hey, just chill out. Just chill out. I want to.
No, I understand. I'm sorry. It's been a rough day for me.
No. Like I got reports of shots fired. We've got an APB out for 4 men. Can you look at this for me?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a look.
Are you trying to conceal your face?
I mean, not obviously, but I'm trying to, again, like I'm looking for my phone. I'm trying to do what I can to look for my phone, look at the ground as best I can.
He kind of looks at you and you look sort of, hey, have you ever seen any of these guys? And he sort of holds up probably a screen of a cell phone or something. And he shows you the 4 mugshots that you just saw on TV in the Denny's.
All right. So I look at it and I kind of squint my eyes at it like I have trouble seeing. No.
We'll call that a helplessness roll.
What do I roll for that?
Roll sand.
Oh, okay.
So you found yourself literally in front of
I know,
twitchy cop?
I knew there was violence and helplessness, but that's the one that you check off, right? That got the boxes? Yeah. Okay. That's a fail. Oh, that's also
a 55.
That's a critical fail.
Damn it. I was gonna call it a D3, so we'll say you lose 3. He's like, hey pal, are you all right?
You know, these pictures are a little bit blurry. Like, these are not very good pictures. Yeah, it's been a rough day. Do you know where my phone went? I was on an important phone call.
What is Franky's prior relationship with the law?
Well, he's not a native to this area.
Sure. No. I just mean in general, conceptually.
Okay.
If this guy were to say run Franky's license, how would that go?
I mean, he probably wouldn't have anything like active.
Sure.
But he probably does have some charges of, minor, peon mob stuff. Like maybe he got, picked up for, possession or attempt to sell or.
Has he done any time?
A little bit, yes. I would say he's probably,
You think misdemeanors or felonies?
Well, I'm trying to think of law stuff now. I would say he would probably have some type of felony on his record. Yeah, at this point, I mean, it's probably still, like I said, he was doing peon stuff, and it was probably moving big amounts of drugs or something along the sense. So yeah, he'd probably have a felon on his record.
Okay.
So yeah, he probably did do time. 6 months to a year, whatever. Good behavior, got out early.
I think for a felony you have to spend a couple of years, but yeah,
I'm not for sure how it works.
Yeah, felony is usually pretty bad. Does your character have a gun?
He does not.
Okay.
I don't think he came here with any weapons at all.
So you're getting maybe a little bit of flashbacks. You know that phone has your picture on it. You know that he's a little twitchy. You're a little twitchy. So that sort of justifies the sand loss, perhaps.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I mean, I just got hit by a cop car and I'm a wanted man. Well, wanted man.
Hey, are you sure you're all right, pal?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I was just, like I said, I was in a hurry. I had an important phone call I was on.
You need me to take you somewhere?
No, I'm late for a job interview.
Do we need to get you checked out? I mean, you struck the hood pretty good. Are you okay?
No, I'm totally fine, sir. I just can you help me find my phone if you're not in a rush? I mean, I know your sirens were on. You were probably dispatched somewhere.
At which point you hear the car radio squawk. And you see him, he kind of pulls up his sort of CB radio. He kind of pulls it up to his ear. And he's like, excuse me, sir, I gotta go. And he jumps into the car and he starts racing in the direction of the Denny's.
Okay.
You're pretty sure you hear something about, shots fired in pursuit, blah, 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 something like that.
Okay. Again, so is my phone anywhere to be seen?
Yes, it's in about 12 pieces underneath one of his tires as he pulls off. You did roll an 88.
I know.
I thought breaking your phone would be more narratively fun than having you hit by a car on a lot of characters.
But so instead you had me hit by a cop car, interact with a cop, and my phone got crushed.
It is an 88.
I understand, but still, it's. Oh.
So yeah.
Well, at this point, I'm going to continue on to the car shop, the chop shop, whatever it is.
Sure. It's probably a bit of a walk since you weren't expecting to walk. But I assume you do walk.
I would probably, now that I'm out of the vicinity, probably hail down a taxi or something. Sure. Can't call an Uber or anything because my phone's broken.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm sure that there are taxis around. You flag down a taxi.
I'm going to give him said coordinates or said street corner, whatever it was, 10th and I don't know. I think we made up a street name, but going to give it the street name that we mentioned in the past.
Yeah.
And head that way.
The taxi pulls out and heads off in that direction. Very, very quickly, the sounds of sirens and what you are terrified to think might be more gunshots, those sounds disappear in the rear window of the taxi.
Man, something crazy going on over there. Does this happen in Boston very often?
I mean, this neighborhood, nah. But, crazy happens. People are nuts.
I agree. I'm just not from around here, so I wasn't for sure.
Well, this address you're wanting me to take you to, it's not a very nice neighborhood either. You're actually going for a bit of a downgrade here, pal.
Yeah, no, I understand. I have a friend. I have a friend who works in the area. Kind of offered me a job, so taking what I can get,
No, I hear you. Unless you wish to make more small talk, he kind of shuts the up.
I mean, I doubt he knows what's going on. I mean, it's not, we're playing in a modern day. There's not really that much, stuff on the radio that announces that kind of stuff happening. So, not unless he's got some kind of, different style of radio than a normal FM, whatever.
You pull up to, I don't know if we gave it a name before.
I don't think we did. I can't remember a name. I just remember we made up like a road corner, I think.
We'll call it Lou's. It's called Lou's. So do you think you know Lou and the boys?
Probably not, no.
Okay, so these are only contacts you know through your brother and through the family.
Yes, and it's probably not even something that someone that my brother would know personally. It's just like, he called him in or had someone call in a favor or whatever.
Sure. As you step out of the car, it's obviously in a rough part of town. You see that there is kind of a tall fence with barbed wire all the way around the chop shop. Looks like there's a little bit of a junkyard to it too. Couple of boarded up businesses. There looks like there's maybe a rundown bar. Otherwise, it's a pretty quiet street. You notice that there are 3 or 4 individuals, maybe what either is a cigarette or probably more likely a joint. They seem to be passing it and hanging out within 10 to 15 feet of where Lou's business actually starts. Kind of just hanging out, leaning against the chain link fence kind of a thing.
As I step out of the taxi, I'm going to pay the driver, obviously. I'm going to approach one of the boys and say, one of you fellows work here?
You see the group of them kind of look surprised that you're even talking to them, and they kind of just shake their head, kind of wide-eyed staring at you.
Like, no?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, you can shake your head multiple ways. Okay. All right, well, thank you for your time anyways. And I'm going to try to go into the shop, I guess, assuming that there's...
Yeah, as you come around the corner, you can tell as you come around the corner, the immediate smell of grease, oil, gasoline, pneumatic tools, the sound of maybe a car being chopped, like you're hearing mechanical industrial sounds. Couple of garage bay doors, they're open. Seems like the garage is pretty deep, so they're probably, it's deep enough for maybe 10 to 12 cars at any given time, and you can see that most of the bays have something on them, and there are a couple of guys working on things in half of the bays, say. It looks like a very small, dingy office with an placard that says open in white letters on a red sign. It's quite yellowed and faded from sunlight.
All right, well, I'll look for a main desk or a main hub wherever, I'm assuming they have some kind of cash register or some kind of something, that there's probably a receptionist or someone working behind a counter somewhere.
You open the door that says open, and you step into a really small, like maybe 10 by 10 room, reeks of stale cigarettes.
Oh, we didn't deal with my disorder. That would have made things a lot harder. I mean, I would only went blind for a little bit, but cop eventually left, but that may have been different interaction. Sorry, I'll try to remember that going forward.
As you step in, you see a heavyweight guy, 3 days growth of beard, long ratty hair, wearing a mechanic's shirt that says Lou, covered in stains, sitting behind a desk with an ashtray that is so full of cigarettes, it's amazing that there's any room to put any more out. There's a TV in the corner. Looks like there's maybe some security cameras behind the desk, paperwork everywhere, filing cabinets, but there's barely enough room in here to kind of stand. There's like maybe a chair that people would wait in that's covered in dust. You don't get the sense that people come into this office very often. Lou's kind of got his feet up, half a cigarette gone. As you come in the door, a little bell rings and you see him take a huge suck on the cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Yeah, what I do you for?
I'm here to pick up a car for Fontaine.
He narrows his eyes at you. He kills the whole cigarette, puts the butt out in the middle of the blotter, and kind of just tosses it on the desk. You see him reach for the pack in his breast pocket, pulls out another one, and lights it up. What'd you say your name was?
It's a Fontaine. Franky.
Franky. You see him start, he flips through the ledger. What model was it?
Fortunately, I don't have that information on me. My phone got crushed on the way here by a car.
I don't have a Franky on my book, so who should I have on my book?
Do you have a Mr. Falcone on there?
He starts to nod as if you've sort of said the magic word. Okay. He takes a huge old pull on that Marlboro Red. He kind of looks over at the security cameras. Boys are still bringing it around. There needed to be some corrections made.
Got it.
I'd say normally it'd take us another 30, 40 minutes. Something tells me if you're early that you're probably in a rush.
Just a little bit, yeah.
You good for the extra expense? I could probably speed that up.
How much would it charge me?
Tell you what, you guys do good work. You definitely send stuff my way. $100 and a good word up the chain. I'll see what I can do about getting you out of here in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, I can definitely do that. And I'm gonna,
He puts his hand out.
reach into my wallet. I assume I probably have a couple $100 in there.
You're about to have a couple $100 less, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, so I'm gonna hand him $100.
You see him tuck it behind the Marlboro Reds.
I'll let him know you helped me out.
He says, excuse me. He drags like 3/4 of the cigarette. Goes out. There's a back door into the garage, and he bangs the door open. Hey, Stevie, get on that car and bay too. What the I pay you for? You two want to grab ass? You do it on your own time. And the door eventually swings shut, leaving you in the tiny office. Anything you'd like to do?
Can I take a peek over at his security cameras to see like if he was looking at anything specific?
Yeah.
That wasn't just, just him checking where the car was at or what they were doing with it.
Yeah, as you kind of step around the desk, I mean, there's nobody around, and there's a window that kind of looks out onto the shop floor, so you could see he's over there kind of yelling and screaming, and it's not super easy to see through. It's really dingy and covered in grease and soot, but nobody's paying any attention to you. So when you step around the desk, you can see that there's it's very, very old kind of system, like something you would have seen in the, I don't know, maybe the 90s or something. Like it's a bank of like black and white monitors, and it looks like there are cameras facing every bay as well as around the property. So you can see the cars that are being worked on. You can see outside. You still see those 4 guys out there smoking a joint. And you can see that he is appears to be animatedly yelling. There's no audio, obviously, but you see him gesticulating, and folks are pulling out a 10-year-old gray sedan that it seems to be that they're working on. You could see that they're like removing things and messing around with it. And it looks like they're trying to get another car out of the way to finish whatever they're doing with this vehicle.
Okay. Fair enough. I was just kind of wanting to watch to make sure they weren't, doing anything fishy. Can't really trust anybody in this business.
As you're standing there watching, like I said, they're moving back and forth. The cameras at least on the bays are very narrow field. So it's basically just a few feet around the car, front, back, left, and right. It's not like it's a wide angle shot, right? And you see them moving back and forth, getting in the car. They appear to be taking some seats out, finagling with it, messing in the trunk, whatever it is that they're doing. You can see a lot of movement. You're not sure if it's the video feed or not, but as they're moving back and forth from the bay, the movements stop becoming very fluid, and they start to become very shuttered, almost as if you're getting frame loss. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird.
I'm gonna peek out there on the through the bay window. And do I still see Lou out there just yelling at the guys, or what's?
You don't see Lou anymore, but you can see movement. This car that they're working on for you is way down there. And you can't quite see the guys. You can tell what bay it is, but you can't quite see them from where you're at. But their movements are very almost mechanical.
Like even off the camera?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna look back at the cameras or the security footage or whatever.
As you look back at the footage, you see that like one of them appears to be taking some sort of metallic object, and they're putting it in the rear seat. So they're in the back of the sedan doing something. But as they're moving, they're almost robotic. Their arms are moving very jaggedly. They're twists of their body. But what's weird is that they appear to glide when they move, as if they don't take steps, as if they're on a track of some sort.
Gonna try to do. I'm envisioning this as as like an old school monitor, not necessarily like more of like the box monitors, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of like give it a tap on the side.
As you bang on it, it kind of gets some noise and kind of fuzzes out a little bit.
I'm going to walk away. I didn't touch it. And walk right back around and just wait for the car.
As you continue to wait on the car, you start to notice after a while that the sounds of the chopping and the hydraulic noises and everything else have started to die down or stop, and you just hear sort of mechanical noises, just mechanical, very precision sounding noises. They're very odd. They're not the sounds of folks working on cars. They're something else.
I love it when Grady's super vague about what the sound effects are so that I don't know what to put in.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna step outside and kind of start walking down the different bays until I get to the bay that I heard him holler which one to bring in the car in, or whichever one it was already in.
So as you're kind of walking down, you realize that it seems more empty than it did before. Like I said, there are fewer noises, and it seems like the only activity, and obviously there are cars and things in the way, but the only activity is kind of that bay that you were at. And you're kind of looking to the left, looking to the right, and then you see, almost out of nowhere, Lou like glides in front of you.
Like the movement's just like I seen on the camera? Is that what you mean by glide, or?
Kinda, yeah. It's just like he wasn't there, and then boom, he was there. He's kind of swaying.
Is the car ready?
Almost.
Well, how much longer? It's been, 10 minutes.
Just a few more minutes. We are making final adjustments.
You okay there, buddy? Gotta...
called alertness.
That is a pass.
His mouth movements and the voice are not in sync.
That's what I figured. Went to one of those old school Japanese films.
Not only that, but it almost seems to be echoing from like an open chest cavity. It's got a reverberation to it. And you swear that you can almost hear like the silence on a record, how it kind of hisses and pops.
Yeah.
It's almost like that. At first you thought maybe it was just the fat guy wheezing, but now you're like, that's what it sounds like. It's like it's pre-recorded, and that record is just kind of...
All right, well, I'm going to wait over here for the car. Will you let me know when it's ready?
Roll sand.
That is a fail.
We'll call it D2. And what do you have to roll to see whether or not you're blind?
I don't have to roll anything. It just happens when I fail.
That's helpful.
2.
Okay.
So yeah, as I'm kind of walking away, Franky's vision fades out and he kind of stumbles a little bit, and he's trying to. This is kind of the first time it's happened to him.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just give me a minute.
Here, let us help you.
No, I'm fine.
And you feel incredibly strong compressions on your arms, as if two people came up and grabbed like your bicep and your forearm from both sides, as if to help hold you up. But you don't feel like the softness of skin. It's as if there's tight compressing
like a clamp or something. I know.
Yeah.
I know where you're going. I'm going to try to wiggle myself out. Like, no, I don't need no help. I just needed some air.
As you just kind of wiggle a little bit, you feel those things clamp down, and you get this clacking metallic noise, almost as if it's you suddenly get the vision of manacles, as if something is being forced over you.
Yeah. Hey, wait, what? You guys don't have to be so rough.
We are just doing what needs to be done.
No, I don't.
And you start to feel yourself being dragged backwards.
Hey.
With enough force that like you go from like on your feet to now you're on your heels, and you can feel your whole momentum of your body being dragged backwards.
I'm going to continue to struggle and just be like, hey, let go of me. Like, what are you guys doing? This is...
It's going to take, if you're going to do it, you're going to need to use something else. You get the sense that you're not talking your way out of whatever's about to happen.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm trying to wiggle myself. And you said it got tighter, so there's probably not much I can do right now. I mean, I don't have access to anything. I can't get into my pockets. Even if I did, I probably don't have anything in there that's going to help me.
Unarmed combat would probably be what you're looking for if that's what you want to do. I believe you have that.
Oh, that's what I wanted to do before they kind of clamped their clamps on me.
I mean, you're the one who chose to be blind.
I had to choose something.
Your left eye really hurts too.
It's a 12. That's a pass.
So as you get yanked back, you sort of you go with the momentum and you thrash back. I believe it's a D3 or a D4. We'll call it a D4. Roll me a D4.
1.
You hit you just lurch back with the momentum as hard as you can, and when you do, your elbow feels like it hits a solid wall, like but when you hit it, it sounds very hollow, like knocking on wood. You hear a loud thunk, and when you do, you feel the pressure on your, we'll say your right arm release, and your right arm comes free. Ouch.
Okay. Okay, at that point, I'm going to, so if it's on my right arm, so I'm going to drag like this. My right arm comes free. So I'm probably going to try to turn to my left and try to push off whatever's on my left arm.
Okay. I'll let you do athletics or unarmed combat, depending on which one's better. I think they're basically the same for you.
Unarmed combat is just one better. That's a fail. Normal fail, not a crit fail like, the 2 I got in a row. That is a fail.
You push, except what you push on is oddly smooth. Like you expected some sort of impact, and it's whatever you're pushing on is rounded and smooth. And when you push, you don't quite get as much force, but you do create some separation. You probably feel one of the two that are pinned because of the way you twist and push. One of the two probably gets less while the other one comes down tighter. So like around your wrist, it's now to the point of pain probably, whereas the one on your bicep has released. You must come with us.
I ain't going nowhere with you.
We'll actually say that you actually feel something twist in you when you do that. And we'll say 2 points of damage.
Okay.
And you kind of, as you feel that.
2 points of damage, okay. What is, with my free arm, I'm going to try to reach around and see if I can't feel anything to grab. I mean...
Oh yeah.
I'm in a workshop, so I'm gonna, a wrench.
Oh yeah. Sure. Make me a luck roll.
I'm gonna say low again. That's high.
You reach back and you feel a whole bunch of tools, but as you reach back still blind, they go clattering to the floor. You feel another hand reach and grab kind of your shirt and start pulling you back again.
Okay, at this point I'm
you realize that your vision is starting to clear a little bit.
At this point I'm just gonna fight out naturally. Then I'm just gonna. I mean, if I rip my shirt, but I'm gonna resist them again.
Okay. Roll.
Try to maybe use my free arm to help leverage a little bit.
Roll strength by 5.
It's a pass.
You feel your shirt tear. And you pull, and you feel your flesh rend as if something sharp is on your flesh, but you bolt out and you start racing out as you hear cries of "No, come back, come back." And you kind of hit in and you get out of the dark garage and into the sunlight. You kind of look down, your arm is bleeding. I assume you're still running.
Yeah.
And you go flying past the guys smoking a joint.
I mean, I'm going to get outside the fence at least.
Yep, you're outside the fence. I love that in big bold letters on your notes, you don't have mini notes, but you have gravy for the brain written in like manic caps.
I thought it was going to be more important than what it has been so far.
That's one of my favorite things, gravy for the brain.
So yeah, as Franky starts stepping out, hopefully he's can feel himself on the sidewalk or on something.
Yeah, no,
that he can distinct from.
You find your vision clearing
out of the fenced area, and he's kind of rubbing his eyes and just standing there. Because once he's out of the fenced area or knows he's out of the fenced area, he's going to try to ground himself and
you
try to figure out what's going on.
You smell weed.
Okay. So yeah, he's just going to rub his eyes, and then. The more my vision clears up, I'm going to kind of look back at the garage and see if anything looks different.
The garage doors are all closed.
Of course they are.
You see 4 guys there, one of them holding a joint out of his mouth, just kind of staring at you.
You guys kind of look at my arm, realizing how, damaged it is. I kind of did see some blood, but it definitely looks worse than what I thought it did. You guys hang out in this area very often?
They just kind of look at each other, then look at you.
Is there anything strange coming from that garage?
They look at the garage, and then they look at you.
No, you guys don't talk?
They just sort of stare blankly. It's almost as if like they're shocked that you're even talking to them.
Okay, I'm going to go... I guess I'm going to try to go back into the office area of the garage.
When you head back to the office, you see that the yellowed sign now says closed. When you try the knob, it is locked.
Franky's going to reach into his back pocket and pull out a little to-go on-the-road lockpick kit.
Sure. Roll that lockpick skill. You've been wanting to use it.
I have it. Might as well.
I mean,
it's a 20 as a pass.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a very complicated lock. So, I mean, with your lockpick of 60, unless you're under duress, you can pretty much pick any normal lock. So you pop it open.
Gonna slowly open the door. The lights off. I guess I would have noticed outside if they were off.
Correct, they are. It's dark, smells of oil and gasoline. You can smell stale cigarette smoke.
Do I hear any noises?
You do not.
I'm gonna go over to the bay window door, what leads out to the garage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna look at the cameras. Are the cameras on?
They are off.
Okay. I'm gonna open the door to the garage.
As you reach down to open the door to go out into the garage, you hear a loud ringing noise behind you. You kind of turn your head back and you see that there's a rotary phone, almost ringing so violently that the handset is like shaking.
Okay, I'm gonna turn back around. I don't care about that phone. Everything else in this shop's old. I'm trying to get my car to get out of here.
Our title track and additional musical arrangements were provided by friend of the podcast, Ian Shannon. Find more of his work at sleepfortheweary.com. Like what you heard? Check out more episodes online at rancorsbrothel.com or the Rancors Brothel on Facebook. You can also interact with other listeners at the Fans of the Rancors Brothel Facebook page. Want to contact us? Reach out to @Rancors_Brothel on Twitter or via email at therancorsbrothel@gmail.com. Most of all, keep circulating the tapes. Much love, everyone.